Jibananda Das as a poet and his works have been have been more of a recent discovery for me. I've been coming to Kolkata off and on since December 2014, and it very much feels like home. And the arts and cultural atmosphere here, I find it, I really love I think there is a frequency which I can relate to, and I plan to keep coming back as well. And as far as today's poetry reading is concerned, and then of course the performances on the 11th and the 12th. On the 11th is at the Proscenium Arts Centre, and on the 12th at the Audience Francaise, where I'm working with a theatre artist. And his translations, in addition to Jibananda's works, thanks to his translations, because of course I don't understand Bangla, just a few words here and there, not so far at least. So I could really relate to some of the writing styles and the approaches and the thought processes that the poet himself went through, and I felt there was an instant connection. So while going through the body of work, Bonolata Sen, the translation, so to say, there was a spontaneous response at some of the points while reading some of the poems especially, and what we should be sharing with you here is basically his selection of 6 poems from Bonolata Sen, and then some of my poetry, not all of it has been written post my reading Bonolata Sen. Some of it is from the past as well, but I felt that some excerpts really go very well with the selection of poems. So hence, we designed this particular piece.
Wings of love and death. If I were a wild duck and you a she-duck, in a nameless river of water ladder on the horizon, near the rice paddy, in the lean Anthene reeds, in a lonely nest, in this Falgun night, we would see the moon rise behind the branches of tamarisk. We would leave the scent of lowland water and fly into the silver harvest of the skies. In your wings, my feathers, your blood throbbing on my wings. Millions of stars in the blue sky, like golden flowers in the wheat field. In the green velvet nest of the rain tree forest, the Falgun moon, an egg of gold, perhaps a bullet sound. Our tangential movement, the piston's excitement on our wings, the song of the north wind in our voice.
You are baby's breath, burning incense, rising flame. You are me, I have no name. You may not be the rush in my crazed adrenaline, nor the laughter of a drunken night. You are not possession, the lust thereof. You are not flesh, the sullen taste, or perfume that scents a lover's hug. I may be vision, yes, I may be a flower. I may be the timekeeper giving up my dearest hour. But I am no baby's breath. I am no honey bee. I lose my eye in your ocean, and the eye ceases to be me.
Perhaps bullet sounds again, our silence, our peace. There would be none of these little death fragments of today, nor the fragments of the small desires, failure and darkness. If I were a wild duck, you a wild she-duck, by the horizon's water-laddered river, with the rice paddy flowing by.
In deepest dreams, I sleep a life liberated in ashes, in tonal, atonal, translucent shades of white. And black was never so blue as this before.
O kite, O kite, you the kite of golden wings. O kite, you the kite of golden wings, in this noon of moist clouds. Don't cry anymore as you wander around the Dhansi river. The music of your cry brings back her eyes pale like the cane fruit. She has now gone far away with her beauty, like the magical princesses of the world. Why call her back again? Who wants to dig up the heart to bring back pain? O kite, you, the kite of golden wings, in this noon of moist clouds, don't cry anymore as you wander around the Dhanshili river.
फासले तो हमारे नीत हैं, तन्हाई में, अज़ले फराक में, जाने हमने गाए कितने गीत हैं। बदन की दूरी से तो वो डरते हैं, कदम जिनके सिर्फ ज़मीन पे धरते हैं। कैसी अजब ये बात है, हम जिंदा हैं और वो रोज मरते हैं। बादल भी शायद कोई शायर है, घूमे तो भर के काली घटा हो जाए, ठहरता है तो सिर्फ बरसने के लिए, बरसे तो बाकी सब हरा भरा हो जाए, खुद जीता है तो सिर्फ तरसने के लिए।
Lovelessness. Stars on the move, the sky bright all around, the grass blue in breeze. Glass insects are asleep, and the gonga fly too. You lie in the wilderness of mango neem and hijal trees. Are you deep inside the earth? Else, in the distant sky, what are your thoughts in the dark? Then the pigeon is aloud in the jungle of Jammu, as if you are that bird, time's innovation without you.
O birds, thou so resemble the divine. Thou make me crave for every sign. The wonders you bring, the songs you sing, a language indefinite to me as the spirit of the earth. In the distance you speak to me. I hear but cannot listen. I know but cannot see. And each attempt to chase you takes me farther away from me.
So close to me in this endless Ashin sky, who else will I get in such ease and familiar depth? As I said, the bird flew into total dark, the way nature is at ease with nature, away from love and lovelessness.
Your sage-like presence, perched on a treetop, here for now, gone in a blink. But what is a bird if she flaps not her wings? The gypsy must be at the mercy of her way, must be on her way.
This next poem that I am reading is a very small poem. However, I have to say a few words before I get this poem. It's a 7-8 line poem. But this poem called Orange, in Bangla Kongla Lebu, I think is a very important, sends out a very important message of what is care and the entire politics and philosophy of care that we all think about today in different ways. Orange. When I leave this body, will I not return to this planet? I should return once again, on a winter night, in the compassionate flesh of a chilled orange, by the bedside of a dying man known to me.
Nothing is everything I own. I wonder if that is enough. Nothing is what satisfies this mind, and yet I long for more. In a daze of elusive virtue, it was your demons I fed, I caressed, and mine with whom I went to bed. With all long done, nothing ever said. Master, mercy, for your sake, Lord, heal thy flower, heal, as she heals best in winter harvest, blossoms in a white, liberated as death.
Now, last two poems. The 33 poems in this volume that I translated of Jibananda Sen's poetry, anthology poetry, Bonolata Sen. The name, as you can see, is Bonolata Sen. One poem in the original Bengali volume was called Bonolata Sen, and there was another poem which I have renamed it as Bonolata Sen with a question mark. So there will be two poems, one called Bonolata Sen, another Bonolata Sen with a question mark. 1,000 long years and more, I travelled in the seas of Sinhala. The darkness of Malaya, I wandered further away, as far as the grey world of Ashoka and Bimbisara, and even farther in the distant darkness of Vidarbha. I am a soul tired in travels, and life all around frothy sea water. And in all this, I found moments of peace when I stumbled upon Bonolata Sen of Nato. Her hair dark and deep in the endless night, her looks carved in the sculpture of Sravasti. In far sees the sailor who lost his way, when he sees the green grassland in the island of Cloves. That was how I saw her in dark. She raised her eyes like the bird's nest and quietly asked, "Haven't seen you in long years. Were you around?"
I confess that I got strayed by the bees in homemade marmalade, by smiles well rehearsed to never fade. While you flew through to your escapade, I barely rode across on a horse of jade. What when the dream is over, the dreamer forced to wake, to find himself only a drunken painter's mistake?
Evening tiptoes at day's end, like the silent sound of falling mist. The kite sheds the sun's smell on its wings, the world's colors fade out, the manuscript structures itself, the story lit in fireflies and sparkling. All birds return to their nests, all rivers square up life's meanings. What remains is darkness. To sit face against face with you, Bonolata Sen.
इस सफर में है तो तन्हाई बहुत, आशना अंदाजों से जुदाई बहुत, पर इस सफर में लगन भी लागेगी कि गिरहें नहीं ये कच्चे धागे की, ये परवाज़ तो है बहुत आगे की।